Hey guys, Nicholas here, or the Negozu, whatever you want to call me really, here to do my Spring 2014 Anime Preseason Thoughts video. And that was a mouthful. And since I'm going to be talking about quite a bit of anime, let's jump right in. The first anime I'm going to be talking about is Akuma no Riddle. Now, the reason why I'm going to be checking out Akuma no Riddle is because the story is basically one girl is being targeted by a couple of assassins, and all those assassins are girls, and the main character, who's one of those assassins, falls in love with the girl she's supposed to assassinate and decides to protect her. And the reason I find this interesting is because the whole assassins thing, and possibly the Yuri romance. I'm keeping my doubts about Yuri romance, but hopefully the stuff with the assassins is gonna be really interesting. So yeah, like assassins, those are cool. Yuri, I experienced Sakura Trick. I'm in the Yuri heavens, or I touched the Yuri heavens, I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much why I'm gonna be checking out Akuma no Riddle, to see how the assassins thing and the Yuri romance is gonna be working out in that series. Akuma no Riddle. Next up is Black Bullet. Now, the only real reason I'm gonna be checking out Black Bullet is because Fripside is doing the opening, and I freaking love Fripside. I mean, have you listened to the Railgun openings? They are fantastic. They are truly fantastic. But then again, there's all this hype about the director and the screenwriter being the same people who directed and wrote, past tense, Monster, which, me personally, I haven't seen Monster or read Monster yet. That's important, the yet part. So for me, there isn't really that much hype about that, since I haven't experienced Monster yet. But Fripside is doing an opening, so I'm gonna be checking out, because I'm the kind of person who will check out series because a certain band or whatever is doing the opening for that series. Black Bullet. Next up is Breakblade or Broken Blade. Doesn't really matter what you call it anyway. Which is basically, let's take the 6 movies, cut each movie into 2, make it into a 12 episode series with new scenes, and go. And I was planning to watch the movies, but since the series is coming out, I guess I'll watch the series. Intermax. The animation was pretty cool from what I saw, so I guess I'll check it out. Breakblade. Next up is Captain Earth, which is basically every single mech show ever. High school kid fights mech, fights aliens or whatever, and somehow the father is involved. At least that's what I gathered from the description. Note that Captain Earth is not Captain Planet, and also the people who are making Captain Earth also made Star Driver. So if you like Star Driver, you probably should check out this. And I should probably check out Star Driver also. Also, the animation from the PV that I saw was pretty awesome. So another reason to check it out. Animation's cool. Captain Earth. Not Captain Planet. Oh, hello. Next up, Date Alive 2. It's the second season of Date Alive. Do I need to say more? If you've seen the first season, and just like me, you enjoyed it, you'll most likely watch the second season. Probably for Kuromi, because Kuromi is like the best girl. Except for Toko. If it wasn't for Kuromi, Toko would be the best girl. But yeah, like, if it wasn't for a certain other series that's coming out this season, Date Alive 2 would be my hype anime of this season. Also, I started reading the light novels. So, well, light novels, and still have to finish the first volume. Yeah. Date Alive 2. If you've seen the first season, you watch the second. Next up, Fairy Tail 2014, or Fairy Tail New Series, whatever you want to call it. It's the continuation of Fairy Tail, the shonen anime. It's gonna be basically, hey, you've seen episode 175, here's 176. Enjoy. Also new animation. Enjoy. Really, if you've seen Fairy Tail, like the previous 175 episodes, you'll watch the next coming episodes. Even though it's pretty much gonna be fan service, fights, fan service, fights. Fairy Tail, because that's basically Fairy Tail. Fights, fan service, fights. Fairy Tail, once again. It's shonen, what do you expect? Next up, Gokukoku no Brynhildr. Brynhildr. However you say the last name thing, because I honestly don't know. Like, Brynhildr? I'm pretty sure I'm saying it, Brynhildr. Whatever. And this is a series where the story actually I find interesting, because the story is pretty much guy A and the childhood friend girl B. Girl B dies. Years pass. Guy A is in high school. Suddenly, a grown-up version of girl B appears as transfer student in his class, and she doesn't remember him. And there are aliens involved, and it sounds interesting. Also, if I remember correctly, the manga of this, because it's based off a manga, because almost everything is based off a manga, either that or light novel, or visual novel, one of the three. And the manga is written by the same person who wrote Elfen Lied. And I quite enjoyed the anime of Elfen Lied. I haven't read the manga of Elfen Lied yet. Once again, yet. But once again, I quite enjoyed Elfen Lied to a certain extent. So I'll check out the Goku no Brynhildr to see what that has in store. Goku no Brynhildr. Next up, Haikyuu. And it's pretty much the show that's gonna try to fill the void that the second season of Kuroki left. Because there's not enough material for a third season of Kuroki yet. Kuroki, come back, please. Yeah, pretty much take Kuroki, take out basketball, bring in volleyball, and put in a revenge turns into partnership story or some kind. I don't know. I haven't read the manga yet. It's the same animation studio who does Kuroki, so it will probably be amazing, because they really know how to make sports anime. Really, it's just to fill the void of Kuroki. Haikyuu. Next up, Hitsugi no Chaika. The reason I'm checking Hitsugi no Chaika out is because the story is sort of interesting for me, because it's like in the past there was a war and guy A now, since the war's over, doesn't really have a purpose in life anymore. They meet this girl who's carrying this coffin with her for some reason, and he travels with the girl to pretty much find a purpose in his life now that the war's over. And it sounds sort of interesting, because there could be interesting backstories going on in there. Hitsugi no Chaika. Next up, Ishuukan Friends, which is pretty much the, if you read the description, this is pretty much going to be a tearjerker anime, which it depends on the execution. If the execution is going to be good, the series is going to be good, because it's going to make you cry, or at least make you teary-eyed, one of the two. But if the execution is bad, it could kind of suck. It really depends. And the story is pretty much guy A tries to befriend girl B, but girl B, she forgets her memories of all her friends every Monday. So then guy A has to befriend her every single Monday again and again and again. And once again, it depends on the execution. This could be good, but could also be bad. It depends on the execution. Ishuukan Friends. Next up, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders. You have to pose. You just have to pose. And I'm checking this out because it's JoJo. It's the adaptation of Part 3, and I watched the previous 2012 JoJo's anime, which covered Part 1 Phantom Blood and Part 2 Battle Tendency. And I'm basically gonna watch Part 3 because it's more JoJo. JoJo's pretty over the top and ridiculous, and it's enjoyable. It's shonen in its purest form, pretty much. And I quite enjoy it, even though I'm not a big fan of it. I'm quite enjoy it a lot. I'm not a big fan, but I quite enjoy it. I'll probably turn a fan if I read the manga. Probably. I don't know. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Stardust Crusaders. Next up, M3. Blah 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 blah. I don't know. It isn't written on my notes there. My notes are there on a whiteboard. It isn't hung up on the wall yet. But the reason I'm checking out M3 is because there isn't much known about it, except Max, and it involves 8 boys and girls suddenly hearing a voice. It's really vague and I'm quite intrigued by it. So I'm going to check out M3 because curiosity. M3. Next up, Mahouka Koukou no Rettousei. When this is like the other hype anime of the season, because of course fans of the light novels are excited to see the animated version of this. But I and a lot of other people, of course, haven't read light novels, so I'm basically checking this out of curiosity because it's like magic is so advanced, it's basically technology now, or science. I don't quite something along those lines. And it reminds me of Index and Railgun in that sense. So yeah, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Only time will tell. Mahouka Koukou no Mahouka Koukou no Rettousei. Next up, Mangaka-san to Assistant-san to. And show about making manga. That intrigues me immediately because it reminds me of Bakuman and I really like Bakuman. And I also like manga a lot, as you can see right there. Manga collection. Even though it's gonna be like a harem romance-ish anime, I'm still excited for it because manga. Mangaka-san to Assistant-san. I really can't say that, can I? So, my hype anime, Mekaku City Actors! Hashtag all the Kagero hype. And like I said, this is my hype anime. I love the Kagero Project songs because this is based off the Kagero Project songs, not the Kagero Days manga or light novels, but the songs. And I quite like them. The story the songs each tells is really interesting, and to see them all in like anime form, it's gonna make me happy because I really like it. And pretty much that. If you want, the story is basically about Shintaro, who is a hikinite, which is basically somebody who's not employed, doesn't go to any sort of education, and just stays shut in. Suddenly gets an email where he meets this computer program called Ene, and then Ene basically screws with his computer, which makes Shintaro go outside for the first 2 years. And then Mekaku, Kagero, whatever things ensues. And I'm excited for it. This is really my hype anime for this season. Mekaku City Actors. Next up, no game, no life. And basically, once again, 2 hikinites, this time brother and sister, get sent into game-ish worlds and God of that world tells them to conquer it or whatever, something along those lines. And really, the only reason I'm checking this out is because it's quite colorful. Have you seen the promotional pictures and PVs? It's super colorful and I love it. I really love it. I love the art style and coloring and stuff. Which is pretty much the reason why I'm checking this out. No game, no life. Next up, Ping Pong the animation. And this is my kind of, I'm not sure if I should check this out. Because it's pretty much rotoscoped. And I didn't have a problem with Aku no Hana with the rotoscoping. Because I'm a big fan of the manga. The manga's really good. It's amazing. You should read it. Like, seriously, go read the manga. It's amazing. It's great. But Ping Pong animation, I'm really hesitant with it because the animation, rotoscoping. I'm gonna have to see if I get through an episode and see if I enjoy it. Cause pretty much just ping pong. It's sports again. I'm only watching 2 of the 4 sports animes. Ping pong, the animation. Next up, Selector infected WIXOSS, which it's interesting because it's about card games. It has moe girls, but for some reason one of its genres is psychological. That immediately, like, what's up with that? Like, I'm immediately wondering what that's about, so I want to check it out to see what's it about. Maybe it's moe card games cross Madoka Magic or something. I don't know. It sounds interesting, so I'll check it out. Because the whole psychological with moe girls and card games, that is really a mix you see every single day. Selector infected WIXOSS. WIXOSS? WIXOSS. I'm pretty sure it's WIXOSS. Okay, for this next one, I'm gonna have to read it off the whiteboard, so assuming I'm gonna be looking that way. Next up, Soredemo Sekai wa Utsukushii. I needed to read that. And it's pretty much, the reason I'm checking this out is because it's Shoujo Adventure. Once again, those 2 genres, or genre and demographic, you don't see every single day. I'm gonna be checking out this series because just that, the Shoujo Adventure thing, sounds really interesting. And the plot's basically girl, guy, romance stuff with adventure and something about rain or something like that. Really, it's that Shoujo Adventure thing, which I find intriguing. Really, I'm not gonna be able to say this without looking. Soredemo Sekai wa Utsukushii. God damn it, Japan. Some of your names for series are really annoying. Next up, Soul Eater. Not. And it's Soul Eater. I really like Soul Eater anime. Even though this is spin-off, I'm still gonna be checking it out because I like the world of Soul Eater. And Maka and Soul are gonna appear in it. I don't know for how much. Maybe just in the first episode or something. Or like they show up regularly. But at least they're gonna show up. Though I'm not a big fan of the redesigns. I'm really not a big fan of the redesigns. Soul's redesign, not so much. Maka's redesign, oh god, why? Why redesign Maka? Why? There was nothing wrong with the original design. So why change it? Soul Eater not. It's Soul Eater, so I'm gonna be checking out. Finally, the last one. Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Arc 5? Arc V? Arc 5? Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm gonna give it a shot even though I haven't finished Yu-Gi-Oh! Sexual Second yet. I'm still gonna check it out because Yu-Gi-Oh! You gotta give it a shot. And if anybody hasn't seen 5Ds, you should really watch 5Ds because 5Ds is amazing. It's the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Series ever. And that's all. So I'm gonna be reading everything from the whiteboard to pretty much give you a quick rundown of everything I'm gonna be watching this season. I'm not gonna be watching everything of this every single week. I've chosen out what I think I'm gonna stay up to date with week to week, but that may change depending on the first episode and stuff. So from the top, Akuma no Riddle, Black Bullet, Breakblade, Captain Earth, not Captain Planet, Dead Alive 2, Fairy Tail 2014, Fairy Tail New Series, whatever, Fairy Tail, Goku Coconut, Brynhildr, Haikyuu, Kuroki, we miss you, come back, Hitsugi no Chaika, Ishuukan Friends, JoJo, Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, M3, blah 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 blah. Once again, I don't know. Mahouka no Rettousei. I have way too much problem with that name than I should. Mangaka-san to Assistant-san to. Mekaku said the actors! Hashtag all the Kaguro hype. No game, no life. Ping Pong, the animation. I really need to watch the first episode to judge. Selector affected. WIXOSS. WIXOSS. I'll just go with the WIXOSS. Soredemo Sekai wa Utsukushii. Once again, I really have way too much problems with that than I should. Soul Eater. Not. And lastly, Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Arc V. And I'll quickly say what animes I think I'm gonna watch weekly. Black Bullet, Break Blade, Date Life, Fairy Tail, Haikyuu, Ishuukan Friends, JoJo, Mangaka-san, Mekaku the Actors, No Game No Life. That's 10 already. Jeez. Selector Effect, WIXOSS, and Soul Eater Not. So 12 in total. I think I'm gonna be watching weekly. That may depend on the first episode and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm gonna be watching about spring. Spring is looking pretty hopeful. It's better than winter, because winter was mostly crap, except for the few little gems like Tornado no Sekikun and Noragami. But yeah, it's looking pretty decent. What more to say? It's spring. We're out of the crap hole that was winter 2014. And let's hope the spring will bring in some cherry blossoms. Sakura Trick reference, anybody? I am gonna end with the dog. If you saw the dog, and you saw him move through the video, you probably knew I was gonna end it with the dog. Really should have expected this. And real quick, if you wanna follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, my Animalist, or Hummingbird, I'm all Dinokozu on that. I'm gonna put links down in the description if you wanna follow me on those social media stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever that is. I at least made the second video. Bye. Because it was... I'm keeping that in. I'm keeping that so in, but in the bloopers. But yeah, pretty much Haikyuu, from what I've read, is basically take Kuroko, remove basketball, bring in volleyball,